Welcome into Between Two Meeples. I am Armando Castaneda, and today we're going to talk about some of the games that are going to leave my collection. It's that time of the month to call, so I will give you the reasons why they will and will not be in my collection anymore. And maybe you might feel the same way, so it'll stop you from spending all those hard-earned dollars on games that might not stay in yours either. So let's get into it. Let's look at the first game on the chopping block. And the first game is going to be Lanterns Dice. So, if you don't know anything about Lanterns or Lanterns Dice, let me break it down for you. So, Lanterns is the base game, which I do have and I do love very, very much. It is a great game. We travel with it a lot because it's a small box game. You're basically trying to make a set collection style game where you're putting tiles out there, facing it in certain directions based off the direction you put it at. You get certain card bonuses and you turn them in to get victory points. Well, they tried to do that same thing in this one, except it's a roll and write, and they tried to use dice, and they tried to use a piece of paper that was the exact same no matter how many games you played. The paper didn't change, but you just scored like different polyomino shapes, whichever ones that you decided to pull out that time. So the concept is there. It is not a bad roll and write. It's just I have, I think, 15 roll and writes in my house, and I have the base game, which I love even more. So when it came to like, is it the best roll and write? No. Do I like this game more than the base game? No. So do we ever pull it out? We haven't pulled it out since probably the first weekend we bought it, and so I'd say about a year ago, and it's now time to go. So if you do, I recommend going out there and finding the base Lantern game. It is amazing. Like, I really do enjoy it a lot. This one just fell a little flat for us. It just wasn't what we were expecting when, because we loved the base game so much, we were hoping the smaller, faster version would bring that same feeling, and it did not. So that is Lanterns Dice, the first ones that's going to be going out. All right. Game number two. Let's talk about the second one. That is going to be Race for the Galaxy. So Race for the Galaxy, this might make people mad, it is a loved game. It is a great game. I'm not saying anything bad about this game. The reason why it's leaving my collection is because we don't play it. That's one reason why. But some of the other reasons is it's almost the carbon copy of that of Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. So, why do I have two of the same game? Well, when I try to teach one game to the other game, it seems like everybody who I've taught these games to, Ares Expedition is a lot easier game to pick up and understand. The iconography on Ares Expedition is a lot easier to grasp. The artwork, everything when it comes to AE seems to be just easier for people to grasp. So, Race for the Galaxy, because of that, has been sitting on my shelf unplayed for about 2 years now, because it just no one ever asked to play it. I don't have a friend group that people like it. And when it comes to like people wanting to try these types of games, they normally lean to something that they already know, which is, oh look, Terraforming Mars. We know about that game. Let's play the other one. And honestly, it's a lot easier for me to teach, and I've seen people grasp that one a lot easier than this one. So with that being said, though, do I think Race for the Galaxy is probably a better game than Terraforming Mars Expedition? Yes. I would venture to say that I actually enjoy Race for the Galaxy a little bit more, but because my game group is keeping me to play that one, because my wife prefers that one, like there's just certain reasons in life where you get outvoted and no one wants to play the game. So that is where I'm ended up. So because of that, Race for the Galaxy is going to go. We're going to find room on my shelves for another game that people will play. Let's move on to the third game in this collection, or that was in this collection. So maybe some people might not know this game. I don't know if you've played it or not, but Blank Slate. This one here it's not that it's a bad game. I think it was gifted to us. It's got its running inside of my collection. It was great. The problem is now is that when you don't have family in town, when you don't have a bigger group that you're going to be playing with, some of the games that I do have groups with, like this one, is just not being played anymore. We do have like just one. It's the same kind of thing. You write on it, you put a paper down, you have categories. There's a lot of games that are very similar to this that just seem to be getting chosen before Blank Slate does. Blank Slate was fun though. So for families out there who want a family game that plays up to 8 players, is 3 to 8. Essentially, what you're doing is you pull out this card and it says like blank dog. Okay. So then on everyone's little pad, you have to write a word. Hot dog, wet dog, hairy dog. Just something with the word in front of it and dog. And you have to hope that somebody else around the table doesn't write the same word as you. So that is going to be the biggest thing. And that's how you score points. The first person, I think it was to like 10 or 15 points, ends up winning the game. So not a bad game. Great family game. There's just other games that are now in the collection that just seem to be, smaller box games, because this one is kind of a big box. It does take up a lot of space. So therefore, Blank Slate, you got to go. All right, this next one is going to be a little, I don't think people are going to care, but it was a shock for me. And that's because it is Pandemic Rapid Response. So I love everything Pandemic. If you've ever seen some of my Instagram stuff, I have like 4, 5, 6 posts on there, I feel like, about Pandemic, some of the new games. I think I have literally every Pandemic version, except for the World of Warcraft one, which I'm still, I think, trying to find. I don't know why I'm waffling on that one. All the Legacy games, I played 2 of the 3. I love all things Pandemic, except for this guy. It took away everything that we loved about the Pandemic. It took away like the working together to try. It didn't take away the working together. It added real time. So like the game ends when I think it's like 2 or 3 minutes is. Like it's just, it wasn't good. Just the real time made everything too difficult. The rolling of the dice made everything too random. The way that you walked, the way that you worked, it just, for it being a real-time game and everyone still having to take their turn, it seemed kind of ridiculous. So just, it wasn't fun. Everyone seemed to be working against each other half the time. And I think when we talk about like mechanics of things that we do not like, real-time, not a very fun mechanic. Like there's not very many games that are in my collection that real time is a real thing and it's really staying. I think the only game left that I have that's real time in my whole entire collection is Kites. And the only reason why I have that one still is because my daughters love flipping over the things and like they're still young enough where they still want to play that one, which is fine. So the real time is the real big issue with me and this game. If it wasn't for that, this would probably be a little bit better of a game, and it would probably be staying in my collection. But for now, it is not, and it is finding its way out. This one, I know, it's probably a month too soon to get rid of this because it is September. We are getting into October, but I can honestly tell you that even whether it's the scary month or not, that Betrayal at the House on the Hill will not hit my table. Between my wife and I, we both just haven't got into it. It seems more complicated than it needs to be. Having 50 different scenarios where you have to go in there and read the book. It's like learning the game every single time you have to go and play. I do like the exploration, like the dungeon crawl version. I do like how everyone's on the same team. It does feel, playing with teenagers, I think is my biggest issue here, is that when you play with teens, if they get the bad guy, you have to trust that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing correctly. And most of the time, it's not, and you can't read what they're supposed to be doing because then then you know how to defeat. Like there's just things that go into it. If you can't trust the person who ends up being the bad guy, the game isn't necessarily fun. And for you not being able to help whoever ends up being the bad guy, like, it makes the game end up being more complicated. It makes it going, are you sure this is what we're doing? So, like, I just haven't found the group. I haven't found the people who want to play this game. So for that reason, we are not going to keep a Betrayal at the House on the Hill inside of our collection. But yeah, don't get me wrong. People love this game. It probably could be a really great game. It does seem like it could be. It had a lot of potential to be a good game. It just didn't fit what we liked as a family, what games that we wanted to bring in. So for those that are out there trying to find like a Halloween themed game for your family, just keep that in mind, that like this is not an easy one unless your teens are dedicated, they're reading, they're understanding it, they're getting into it, or you have family members who are dedicated to understanding it. Like, it's probably going to blow them away. You're probably not going to understand it right. The rules are going to be all mushed together. You might not like some of the options that are there. Like, it's just too variable to figure out what kind of game you're going to end up with. And for me, for my wife, it wasn't fun. So Betrayal at the House at the Hill, it is gone. I believe we are getting into the last game that I'm going to call for my collection. And let's go ahead and pull it out. It is that of Red Rising. So this is my first Stonemaier game that I am going to call for my collection. It seems like the more I have played games, there's mechanics in games that I find that I don't like. And my wife, the exact same thing. And for us, we found like the one mechanic that we both just do not like. And it lives in Red Rising, it lives in Fantasy Realms, it lives in like Marvel's Remix, like the games where you have to, it's like a card drafting game, and you are trying to make the best hand possible based off of all these random facts on your cards. This card gets stronger with this card, or if you don't have this card, it gets weaker, and blah, 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 blah. Like, this hand building where you score the most points because of the cards you have at your hand at the end of the game, it just drives us nuts. The decks are too big. There's not enough options. It's just all randomly luck based. It's just, they don't seem that fun. You're still trying to figure out how many options I have. Who can I go here? It's just, I'm sure people like that kind of game. Red Rising sold well, Fantasy Realms sold well, Marvel Remix, like all those games. It seems like a lot of people are buying those games, but that mechanic we just do not like. So if you've ever found yourself in a game of one of those three and you're going, yeah, I really don't like that, well, stay away from that mechanic and those games. I've now learned that after playing 3 of them, that no matter what theme you smack on that mechanic, I am not going to like it. So this is the last one of those 3 games that is in my collection, and it is going away. So as far as like the game itself, this was a decent game. Like, if you like that mechanic or you wanted to try it, I'm not getting rid of this game because it was a bad game at all. So don't get me wrong there. It just wasn't our kind of game. So just take that into consideration. Take that with a grain of salt. That Red Rising, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying that mechanic does not work for me. All right, those are the 6 games that I'm going to call from my collection today. Or this month, I guess. It's not really today. Who knows when I'm going to get rid of them. Now I'm just rambling on. But, you know why? If you have liked my video and you've made it this far, please give me a like and subscribe. It does me and my channel wonders. It makes me, more excited to put out content at some, fit form or function. I think I'm close to 3 videos a month, trying to up that a little bit more, trying to get to that 4 or 5 mark. But, I am doing this for the love of the game, not for a paycheck. So anything helps. But for that, I am Armando. I will see you hopefully next week. I'll be able to get a video out. And if you want to see more content, I do put out stuff on Instagram. But until then, we'll see you later.